Okay, so our log functionality is pretty much done. We have create, read, update, delete, and search. So now we're going to work on the technician part of it. So anytime we have a new resource that we're going to store something in state, we want to add a reducer and an actions for the most part. So in reducers, let's create a new file called techreducer.js. And we need to bring this into the root reducer. So I'm going to go to the index.js and bring this in. So we'll say tech reducer, and I want to bring in tech reducer, and then we'll just go ahead and add that here as tech. So being able to combine reducers like this makes Redux really good for large applications where you have a lot of different resources. So let's go into our tech reducer, and for now we're just going to create the initial state, and the initial state will be an object with a text value, and this is going to be null by default, but once we make the request to the backend and get the text, it'll be an array. And then let's set loading to false and also error to null. So that's it. Not much. It's basically just the technicians that'll be stored here. So let's just create the function. So we'll say export default, and this takes in state, which is going to be set to our initial state, and then takes in action. All right, and then we just want to run a switch on the action.type, and for now we'll just have default, and let's return the state as is. Okay, so that's what we'll do for now. And in the actions, we're going to have a new file called techactions.js. Okay, so any actions that have to do with the technicians are going to go in here. Now I'm going to import a couple types for now. Actually, we could probably just import all the types. So we have get text, add tech, delete tech. We're not going to do update just because it's just the first name and last name. If you need to change, if you make a mistake, you can simply just delete it and add the new tech. There's no particular order or anything like that. So there's really no reason to have an update. But if you want to do it, you can. I just didn't want to be too repetitive. So Redux is repetitive enough as it is. Then we're also going to have set loading, and we're going to have tech, I think it's text underscore error, and those are going to come from /types. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we want to get text from server, and I'm also going to have the set loading, so we can say set loading to true. And we can copy set loading from log actions. So down at the bottom here, we'll grab that. It's going to be the same thing. We don't need two comments. And then the get text action we're going to create, let's actually copy get logs because it's going to be very similar. So I'm going to just grab this and close that up and then paste that in right here and change this to get text. Okay, so we're going to get text, and let's see, set loading, we're going to call that, and then we're going to hit the /text route, get the data, and then we're going to dispatch get text and pass the data. If there's an error, then we'll go ahead and call text error, and we'll send the response. Actually, you know what? I don't think this is right. Response data. I think we want to send the status text like that. And I think we want to do that in our other actions as well. So let's go ahead and change that. So in the log actions, let's set this to status text because I believe that's what gives us the actual error. So we'll do that basically for all of our requests. Okay, so save that. Okay, so this will dispatch get text. If something goes wrong, it'll dispatch text error. So let's copy this and let's go to our reducer and let's handle it there. So set loading. Actually, we need to bring our stuff in. So we just copy it from the actions, this right here, and paste that in and just change the location. We want to go out into actions and into types. All right, so set loading, or case set loading. We just want to return, spread the state, and then let's set loading to true. Okay, and then for get text, which we'll put right here. So get text, we're going to return, spread the state, and set text to the action.payload, which comes in from the back end or the JSON server. And let's set loading to false. Okay. So now what we want to do is let's go to components, text, and let's do tech list modal, because the select list that I want to do, this right here, I'm going to actually create a whole separate component for that. So I'm going to save that for the next video. In this video, we'll just take care of having these come from our back end, which they are right now, but it's through the component. We want this to happen through Redux. So let's go into tech list modal. And like I said, we're just making the request here, but we want to change that. So let's bring in connect. So I'm going to bring in connect from React Redux. And let's bring in prop types. And let's see, also the action get text. Sounds like I'm saying text. So get text, and that's going to be from 2 levels up, actions and tech actions. All right, and that's going to be a prop. So we're going to pass in get text here. And then let's go down to the bottom and do our connect. We're not taking in any, actually we are actually, right? Because this is, yes, we're taking in, we want to get the text from the state, so we need map state to props, and then the action, which is get text, and we need to wrap this in parentheses. Okay, so map state to props, let's do that. Takes in the state, and we want to set tech. I'm just going to get the entire state, so state.tech, and then get text. Whoops, no, we don't want to put that there. Okay, so that will get us the state, and then let's add our prop types. So what's this? Tech list modal dot prop types, and set that to an object. We have tech, which is an object, so PTOR, and then get text, which is a function, so PTFR. Okay, so let's go up here, and we no longer need this because we're calling get text from the actions. We also don't need this because we're not using text or loading as component level state. We're using them as app level state and passing them in as props. So we actually have to pass in text, and actually we have tech as our prop, and then we can destructure that and we can pull out text and loading. All right, so let's see, I think we're good. Actually, right here, we're checking to make sure it's not loading. Let's also make sure it's not null, because remember, it starts as null until the request and response is made. So I'm just going to say if text is not equal to null, double ampersand, then go ahead and map through. Okay, so we'll make sure it's done loading and it's not null. So let's go back and let's go to this little icon here, and there we go. So we're fetching it, and you can see over here in the tools, it's calling get text. And if we look in our state, our Redux state, you can see that those texts are in there. All right, good. So in the next video, we're gonna create a separate component for this select list right here and pull the text into there using the get text action as well.